Look at this. Look at this. Gaby's like, sniper time. Gaby's getting gun ready. She's like, bring me my weapon. I love it, yeah. Look at this. She's like, I'm gonna save Falco. I'm gonna kill Eren. You can feel that it's some person. It's just one person that can kill Eren. It is Gaby. She's like, I already killed him once. Okay, it's 1-0 to me, right? 2-0 soon, baby. But seriously speaking, though, how is Gaby not the protagonist? Objectively speaking, that's clearly a protagonistic scene for Gaby again. Gaby talking to reinar, Gaby getting, I'm gonna get revenge, I'm gonna save my mom, I'm gonna go and save our parents. So clearly Gaby is the protagonist. We don't even see what Eren is thinking here. Again, Eren is not the protagonist because nothing of this is from Eren's perspective, right? Nothing here is from Eren. We see G now discussing how to kill Eren, right? Nothing of this is from Eren's perspective. He cannot be the protagonist in any literal sense. And she's even doing the Eren. She really is Eren, 0.2, right? Eren version 2, right? She's even doing the mirror stance thing. I mean, let's be honest here. Like, come on, let's be honest here. She is the new main character. She's the protagonist. Ishiyama's even letting her do the Eren standing into the mirror like, yeah, I'm ready to kill, right? She's even doing that shit. People always compare it to as she's the new Eren, right? Eren version 2, right? But let's address it first, as I mentioned, right? I cannot see how people still can argue that Eren is the protagonist. So here we have the rumbling. The rumbling is happening, right? People are getting murdered, Eren is sending out this thing to kill the whole planet, right? And whose perspective, again, do we see? It is Gaby! How can you argue that she's not the protagonist? Some people are like, oh, it's reinar. No, it's not reinar. It's Gaby helping reinar. It's Gaby getting like, yeah, I'm getting pissed off, man. Right? Gaby's getting like, I'm tired of this badass boy. I'm gonna kill him, right? I'm gonna save my mom and dad. It's Gaby. She's the protagonist. She has the narration. She has the character development. And then we see Gaby saying Kaya. Incredibly predictable, as always. Gaby's writing is terrible, but she's incredibly predictable character in a writing sense, certainly. But yeah, she goes there, saves Kaya, right? And then Kaya's like, oh, she's my friend, she's my sister, let's go, right? Again, she's the protagonist, she's saving the girl, she's getting the redemption, right? And then in the end, she's like, let's go and kill Eren or something. Why can't Eren just save Colin's mom or whatever, right? Again, it's from Gaby's perspective. How can anyone argue that Eren's protagonist? It's crazy talk. Objectively, you're wrong if he's Eren's protagonist. He isn't the protagonist. If your argument is that he used to be the protagonist, before the time skip, sure. That's true. But that's like 20 plus episodes ago. That's like 3 years in the manga ago. It's like a very long time ago in the actual narration. He has stopped being the protagonist from a very long time ago. And as you can see here, he's not becoming the protagonist. He's doing the rumbling. And we still don't see his perspective, right? We still don't go back to him. No. She's the protagonist. We're not seeing his perspective. And we don't go back to Eren. We don't circle back to him becoming the main character again. He isn't. He's just the main bad guy now, right? He's the villain, right? Yeah. And just to readdress this point yet again, I don't know what happens every week, but I see people still not agreeing with him. That's something. Eren is not an antagonist because he's evil, right? That's not the issue here. You can have an evil protagonist. He's not the protagonist because obviously Gaby's protagonist. We don't see anything from his perspective. We have no idea why Eren is doing what he's doing. And exactly as Gaby said in the last minutes there, asking Armin, why can't Eren do this thing? Why can't he do this thing? Right? If he was the protagonist, we would know his powers limiting his plan, right? But because he's the antagonist, we don't know his powers or his true plan, or his true objective, whatever, right? That tells you again, he's not the protagonist. She is. So she's the one wondering, why is the antagonist not doing X, Y, or Z instead of? Because she doesn't have the full picture, she doesn't have the true information. So this is the protagonist. This is the protagonist, Gaby. And Eren clearly is her antagonist, right? And also everyone else antagonist, but he's clearly mostly her antagonist. Because now he's trying to kill her parents. She wants to go home and save her parents, right? She wants to kill Eren before her parents dies, right? And also, of course, Reinar's mom and so on, right? Yeah. So obviously, it's also antagonizing Reinar, right? Etc. But it's really, like, extremely clear here, if anything, I'll say, that she's the protagonist. And as I always keep saying, right? I think the most obvious example of this switch is Star Wars, right? Most famous example, I mean. Because then you have, of course, Anakin Skywalker. He's the protagonist, the main character, right? And then he becomes Darth Vader. Now he's evil, and he's also the antagonist, right? That's Eren too, right? Eren used to be the protagonist. Then he became antagonist, and he's evil, right? He's going a freaking genocide, Pol Pot, Stalin shit here, right? He's the bad guy, and also the antagonist. But as I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the reaction, I think it's kind of funny that I really find it funny. Really funny, and also very bizarre when people are like, oh yeah, I'm pro Eren, but I'm not pro genocide. You're like, no, you can't, I said earlier, you cannot do that splitting hair shit, right? You're either anti-Eren and anti-genocide, or you're pro Eren, but then it means you're also pro genocide. Because otherwise you can argue that you're pro Hitler, but you're not against the Holocaust. You can't like separate, Hitler and the Holocaust or whatever, right? Or Pol Pot and the Khmer genocide or so. You can't separate those things, right? Because it's basically the whole thing they did, right? And Eren's doing this thing right now. But anyway, yeah, Gaby's the protagonist, and I find it interesting generally in the episode that it really is focused on, how not much on the rambling, right? I think it's kind of nice how it's going back to the roots. As I mentioned earlier in the reaction, I think it's fun actually to see them all. I get the nostalgia, goosebumping, seeing them all just fighting titans, right? Seeing them just like flying around in the sky. Kind of go back to the season 1 before we had all this political drama. Yeah, so weird, big, naked titan zombie guys running around like this, right? Like doing the deviant run and so on. That was the first basically 20 or so each episode, right? When Annie kind of comes in there, right? So on. So yeah. I think the episode was kind of nice, doing the Titan thing, and we kind of half the episode is kind of like a season 1 episode, certainly, which I think is pretty nice. Just throw it in there, yeah. It's kind of nostalgia, I think, mostly, right? But so that's nice, and it is interesting though, seeing the young guys being all afraid of it. They don't have the same experience, but also a little bit, I guess they have had 5 years of no Titans, I suppose. So they're kind of like, oh, it's pretty chill. Like, oh, Titans are back? Yeah, I guess so, right? That being said, though, I do want to address, as also Gaby, of course, best girl and, main character, so on. And she points out, right, why can't you Eren control these Titans? Yeah, I do think that basically is a plot hole, honestly. Why? It's because Eren's main agenda, kinda, is to, protect Armin, Mikasa, Jean, and so on, right? And Sasha, good job of time travel there, Eren. But anyway, that's his main agenda. Honestly, also a plot hole. Why didn't he just protect Sasha for? He got goddamn time powers. But anyway, if you ignore all the obvious plot holes, because yeah, if his main agenda is to protect his friends, he easily could have saved Sasha because he got goddamn time travel powers. But anyway, I do find this thing kind of like a weird horrible plot hole, because yeah, it's like, why is he letting these Titans almost killing his friends, right? They're not really doing it, but they're so much better than them. But still, like they're killing they're threatening Armin and so on. Why is he letting it happen? Why isn't he sending them out to kill the world? Also, he wants to control the Eldians, save the Eldians or whatever, right? Against the other races. Again, these Titans are killing Eldians. Why couldn't he just control them? Because he has that power. He has the power to control them. He really, that we know he has. We've seen it earlier with Dina and so on. So he absolutely can control these Titans. He should be able to control them. There's no reason why he can't do it. So I do feel that it's kind of like the plot, right, versus action scenes. So here I have to say I feel that the author is like, he could have just taken these Titans and just let them also leave the island, right? But instead of doing that, it's like, but I want to do that nostalgia fight scene. I want them having to kill Pixie, right? So I do feel it's like going against the actual plot line, used to have to fight the friend and so on, right? Because it really doesn't make any sense. Eren should just send them away, right? He absolutely can do that. We've seen him do it even before he had all the powers. And now he got his godlike power. He could easily do this thing, right? And he's gonna do it kind of similar later. So I feel it's like, yeah, I have to say, I feel it's a plot hole. Like straight up, not the biggest plot hole, but I feel the author is like, I want them to have to kill Pixie, right? Versus Pixie just leaving and going and killing more people, because that what should happen, right? So I do think the writing here, and I keep saying it, right? People are like, oh, the ending is the worst thing ending, the ending is the worst thing ever, and so on. I kept saying here, and I said by saying it right now, no. There was chapters like this thing where you see the cracks in the writing, because this is like, why are they even fighting it? As Gaby's saying, Gaby's like, this makes no goddamn sense, right? She's right. And it doesn't help that the author even knows himself that isn't making itself happening. Like, he has a character pointing out this illogical, like he has a character saying it's a plot hole, basically. That doesn't help. That doesn't mean that he basically didn't care. If he was like, well, this probably is a plot hole, but whatever. I want to have a fight scene, It's like, okay. So you can really see how, it's going downhill here, in my opinion. But the two of the Connie. Because this is just so stupid. Connie isn't portrayed as the smartest character, but it's like beyond stupidity. Because, he knows that Eren is basically destroying the whole planet, right? Arguably. Potentially his mom too, right? And him and so on. He doesn't know exactly what Eren's doing, but, some kind of like mass torture, genocide, plans, action, like nuking everything. And he's like, I want to give this power that has the potential of saving the world, right? To my mom that has 0 battle experience, right? It's just so stupid. Because even if his mom then, of course, will get the powers, that means they have one less shifter to fight Eren, right? But what can you goddamn mom do, Connie? I truly hate this part of Connie here, because it is just so lacking, right, in rationality. And of course, Connie likes his mom, whatever, but his mom's been out Titan for like, 6 years something by now? He's very used to having his mom as a Titan. No, but I feel like, it feels just, I feel honestly it's too much other place. His mom has been in his Titan form, right, for several years. He gets a shifter, he immediately betrays his friends, and basically betrays the whole army and the world to go and save his mom temporarily, but his mom is probably gonna get killed anyway, right, by the whole rumbling and World War III and so on. So it's really like, oh yeah, I'm gonna save my mom, and then she will get murdered or destroyed or whatever the next day anyway. Yeah, great strategy, right? It feels like the dumbest thing ever, and it's so incredibly obvious to him, it should be obvious to him, that they need this power, again, right, to stop Eren. If they don't want to have Falco having the powers, they could themselves eat it, right? Not Armin perhaps, but the other ones to get 50 powers too, right? They could also eat it and get the powers, and then of course help out against Eren, right? So it is really, really stupid. It feels just too much out of place, I feel, that he's like, now is my chance to save my mom. Like, he's been waiting for this. There's no build up for this. It's not like there's no build up that Connie is like, this has been my strategy for 5 years to finally get someone to eat with my mom or something. He's like, come on, man, it's coming way too much out of nowhere. He's gonna have some kind of flashback probably motivating it, but it doesn't really feel fitting. And also, like, they're in the capital, right? It's pretty a bit far from his mom and so on. So he's gonna take this kid, right, that has the powers to eat him easily, right? So take this kid with him, they can easily kill him, and run with that guy to his mother during this, like, rumbling next to it, and also basically World War III at the same time, right? So this is like a guy basically, I don't know, being in Germany, he's gonna travel to, like, I don't know, France to Paris, like, burn to France, with like one kid that can at any moment just eat him easily, right? His form and so on, during World War II in like the crossfield, and also a gigantic Titan army also in the way. He's like, great time to run over there, right? On foot, basically. You're like, what? It is so bizarre strategy. It's so out of nowhere, right? And having the idea that he can make it happen. And also, of course, Armin and so has to basically stop him, right? Because they need the power to kill Eren. So they're like, yeah, and also he's obviously going to be haunted by his former allies, right? To kill him and get the kid back, or kill the kid and get the powers, whatever. This is just like the most insane thing to do ever, right? It's probably the dumbest action of any character in the Titan, seriously. To think that he has to go and feed his mom at this moment. It's like the worst moment ever to bring his mother to... to bring the kid to his mom. It is truly cray-cray, right? And I don't think it's built up that Korn is supposed to be this stupid, nor this extremely overly emotional about his mom. Even, yeah, he likes his mom, right? But it's not like build up, he's like been plotting this thing for the whole season or whatever. It's just crazy, I think. But otherwise, yeah, of course they need Connie, right? And it's just so fascinating too that if they don't have Connie and Falco and all this stuff, he should obviously figure out that his mom is gonna get killed by the World War III rampage shit, right? What's the point of saving her for 1 day or 2 days and then she killed anyway? It's just so pointless. It's kind of the whole... It's the enormous lack of pragmatic thinking, right? It's kind of like what I usually like in many storylines, where you see the bad guys, right, joining force with the good guy, because a greater bad guy is killing the world. Kind of like, obviously, Gaby is going to combine with Mikasa to, of course, kill Eren, right? They're going to combine the Eldian and Marley to kill Eren. That's kind of what you expect, right? The pragmatic solution to, okay, we have to combine our powers, or else everyone's gonna die. And Connie's like, F that, I'm gonna save my mom, and then she dies anyway. Right? It's so bizarre. Right? I think it would be great though, honestly. What I would hope what's gonna happen here, right, is that he's gonna feed Falco to his mom, right? And then Armin or Mikasa kills his mom and then eats her instead. That would be hilarious. That would have been a great story point though, if they immediately kill his mom so they could eat her. that would have been a great twist. And they're like, well, they have to kill her now and need the powers. that would have been, in my opinion, honestly, a great follow-up. They would be like, okay, well, your mom is dead now because, yeah, we need the powers, man. So that's how it goes, man. You did a mistake. But yeah, I do love that Gaby is like pointing out all the illogical faults in the anime. Yeah, she's like, nothing makes any sense here. Why is Eren doing these things? Why is Eren doing that stuff and so on? She's like basically pointing out all the all the writing issues. She's like, wait a minute, nothing makes any sense here. But let's just leave on the last, cute Beskal coming back. Yeah, she's finally free, right? Because Eren shattered all the armor. She's finally free. Cute little Beskal returning. So good last panel there. Annie Shan is coming out, and I have to say, I do love it. Armin's like, whoa, Annie's free! You see, Armin's like, whoa! Armin is like, finally, I've been waiting for that wifey for 5 years now. It's my time to shine, baby. Yeah, Armin is like, been waiting. He's like saving that loan for 5 years now. I'm like, yes. But otherwise, even though I actually do like Annie a lot, and I think her storyline coming forward here is actually going to be interesting. Her and her girl romance so on to be cool, man. But I do find the Armin Annie love story to be kind of creepy, right? Because Armin is in love with her purely because he ate Banholt. He's like, he has, as I mentioned earlier, inherited the love, right? And it's kind of weird. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I want to smash because that guy wanted to smash. I want to smash too. And it is kind of weird. It really is. Yeah, I leave it at that. It is weird, I feel. There is a kind of weird forced love storyline that how he's gonna be really, really horny for Annie the rest of the storyline now, constantly. And it's gonna be like, yeah, and then it's gonna have like flashback from Banholt, like, oh, I loved her when I was a kid. And you're like, you never met this kid, Armin, but I can't remember how cute she was when she was like 5. And you're like, okay, that's kind of weird, man. So it's gonna be this shit, right? And it's like, whatever, guys, whatever. Anyway, guys, subscribe, press the like button, right? I'll see you guys with more comparisons between Eren, Pol Pot, and Stalin and so on. And yeah, I just can't wait. I can't wait to see, especially tomorrow, I think, but also this night, right? Seeing people like on Twitter being like, you know what? Eren and Stalin, pretty good guys. Yeah, I can't get people like, sitting there comparing them, being like, you know what? I would have been on Pol Pot's side, genociding his people. That was a great strategy, yeah. But honestly, I say this thing, and people give a shit for the thing. I think that Pol Pot arguably is the worst, right? He didn't kill the most people, but he basically almost killed all of his own people for no reason to. Like, he basically was like, oh, you have glasses. For example, Pol Pot, he executed people that had glasses, right? So people had glasses. Pol Pot was like, oh, they are intelligent, so they have to all die, okay? That's how crazy he was. He was like, everyone with glasses has to be executed, right? So now left anime, I'm talking about a real life shit happening in the 70s, okay? This is only like 50 years ago. And he was like killing people because they had glasses, okay? So I would argue that he's the worst of the worst, arguably, because he was the most crazy one, right? He was like, you have this hairstyle, you're dead. So yeah, he was really crazy. And basically, like, at least, Mao was like, these people are gonna die like 30 billions, but at least he built up an empire, right? Pol Pot was like, they were gonna die, so he's killed everyone for no actual, industrial prosperity, right? So yeah, I don't know. I think it is crazy. Yet I can't wait to see people, defend Eren and Pol Pot, right, and be like, yeah, because I love to have people like, oh, so if you're pro Eren and pro genocide, you're also pro Pol Pot, then that's pretty good, man. You're kind of similar, man, killing their own people. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, great anime, man. Great anime. It brings out the best in me, man. Brings out the best historical me. Anyway, guys, subscribe. See you guys tomorrow with Bisco. I think we're gonna do tomorrow, right? Maybe talking more about Eren killing people. Yeah, it's fun. Then see you guys and have a great day.